Hey, shalom, everybody. I was just prompted by the Ruach Hakodesh to give this message. Those of you who don't know, the Ruach Hakodesh is the set apart, what you would call holy, the Ruach, the breath, the power, the inspiration, the helper, the one that reminds, as you would call, the spirit that comes from Yahweh, the Creator Himself. I just read the message given to the believers of Messiah of the congregation of Philadelphia. The message was very clear that they would be protected and that they would be the kadoshim, that they would be the saints of the days of the end times, that they would be the protected kadoshim, the protected saints of the end times. And what does it take to be part of that remnant? Well, it's not hard. The Ten Commandments are not hard. Okay, what many people don't do today is they don't measure their actions with the Ten Commandments. Okay, they don't test the spirit. They don't test the attitude of what they're about to do or what they're doing. They don't test the intentions. They don't test. They don't even consider what they're doing if they are transgressing one of those 10 commandments. Okay, so for example, the 10 commandments, they're not difficult. They are not difficult. They are so easy. What's hard is to let go of the sins. Okay, let me make an example. It is such a strong hold. It is such a teaching of the enemy to put a Christmas tree in your house. You put the Christmas tree in your house, you're following a tradition that isn't of the Creator Yahweh. Okay? And by rebelling against Yahweh, you are being unloving. So when Messiah said, love your neighbor as you love yourself, and love Yahweh, your Elohim, with all your might and all these things. So let me ask you, the Christmas tree issue has to do with that commandment. Okay, are you loving the Father enough to say, I don't want to partake in the ways of the nations and the ways of the heathens? Are you saying, I don't think there's anything wrong with the Christmas tree? Well, okay. If the Father says, do not do the things of the heathens, the pagans, then why the Christmas tree? Okay. So, for example, those who are the remnant, they are the ones that are being said that are persevering, okay? And they are being blameless, they are being spotless, they are, as the scriptures say, continuing to make their robes white, okay? They are becoming polished, they're becoming refined silver, meaning that they are burning away all of the chaff and the dross. Okay, remember, Yehuchanan, the immerser, said that the Messiah would cleanse those with fire and with the Ruach. Okay, so the fire that burns away the trash and the inspiration, the help, the empowering, that comes through being set apart. Okay? That is the explanation of the Ruach HaKodesh. It is the attitude of the Creator Himself to be different, distinct. Okay? We who are made in His image and likeness, we're supposed to be like Him. We're supposed to be different and distinct. We're supposed to be like Him. We're not supposed to be like the other nations. So the congregation of believers that will be untouched and unharmed, the congregation that will be completely protected, are those that are perfect in the ways of the Father. It's not hard to be perfect in the ways of the Father. You just have to shed off all of the things of the world. It's not hard. My wife and I were doing it. We don't do birthdays because we know the history of the birthdays. We don't do this, we don't do that, we don't, because all the things that humans like to do are things that the Father says, don't do it. Instead, we turn away from the things of the world. We turn away from the things that anger the Father, and then we turn to hear, obey, and do the things of the Father. Instead of the days of the world, we do the days of the Father. The things that bring Him honor, the things that are worship unto Him. False worship has been very clearly defined in His Word. Very clearly defined. And He just doesn't want you to do it because you'll have a better life. Not only will you have a better life on earth, but, for example, for the sake of the argument of what's happening now is that we are seeing the book of Revelation literally happen before our eyes. And the book of Revelation gives the Torah, gives the guidelines and instructions. The very living Torah, the very word become flesh, the very living embodiment of the Torah is Messiah. And Messiah tells us in the book of Revelations how to become that group that gets supernatural protection. Okay? Because they are persevering by keeping their robes white. Keeping their robes white meaning keeping all the commandments. That's what it means. It's a Hebrewism. It's a reference from other passages that speak about keeping your robes white. Keeping your robes white by not having spots of traditions of men, of traditions of pagans, of traditions of heathens. Okay? That congregation, that group of people will be so supernaturally protected from what's to come. And so why not want to be part of those people, that group, that remnant that is supernaturally protected? Okay? They have very little, like it says, they have very little power. Okay? That group of Philadelphia has very little power, but the Messiah sees what we are doing, and we are persevering, meaning that we are, staying steadfast to the narrow path, the narrowness that is truly of Yahuwah, and thus we have His protection. It's not hard. The thing is, you have to measure what you're doing and see, and you have, like the scripture says, you have to be convinced in your own mind as a transgressor. And once you understand that you're transgressing, hopefully you are that one new creation, that one new man has been restored and redeemed enough, like the scripture says in Ezekiel. Man, I always forget how to say that name in Hebrew. Ezekiel, that the Father would take your stubborn heart and give you a heart that loves Him. He would take your hard heart and give you a heart that really loves. That's how loving the Father is. The Father literally gives you the power to be perfect in His eyes. The Father literally gives you the desire to want to be perfect in His eyes. The Father literally gives you the power and the strength, the instructions, the manual, and He covers you and supernaturally protects you so that you can fulfill being perfect in His eyes. And all it is just turn your back on the world, turn away from the things of the world, and boom, you have the obedience that merits His favor. I hope you guys listen to this video and truly let the Ruach of truth, the Ruach of His truth, guide you to the living Torah that is our Messiah. Shalom, beloved.